Hi and welcome along to our Arsenal Fan TV Google Hangout special, where we're going to discuss today another injury to a key player at Arsenal. Mesut Özil, it's been announced today by the German national squad that Mesut Özil has picked up an injury to his knee and he's going to be out for up to 3 months. Up to 3 months. The news has come out today. There's a lot of Arsenal fans in total disbelief. They just can't believe it. Yet another injury to a key player at Arsenal. And I don't know what to think. It's just such depressing news. And yet again, another injury. And I just wanted to find out, see if, what you guys thought of it. Is this just bad luck? Or is this, showing that our medical team and our training regime is all wrong? Because Arsenal, they just pick up a disproportionate amount of injuries, far more injuries than any other Premier League team. And it's just totally unbelievable. And it always seems to be to key players. Now, first of all, let's discuss Mesut Özil. We know that he hasn't been having a very good season, had a particularly poor game against Chelsea on Sunday. Previous to that, actually, he had a decent game against Aston Villa. But on the whole, since he's returned from the World Cup, he hasn't had a good time of it. And could it be that he was playing with a slight niggle that has now turned into this injury? And the other thing about it is, why has it taken him to join up with the German squad for this injury to be discovered? Was it an injury that was, he got whilst training for the German team, or was this an injury that he's been carrying and the German team have spotted it? Either way, it doesn't look good on Arsenal because of our terrible record of injuries. And as I said, it's yet another major player for Arsenal, our most expensive signing, who's going to be missing now till after Christmas, 3 months after Christmas. And you know what it's like at Arsenal? When they say up to 3 months at Arsenal, that probably means it's going to be 4 months. And it's just absolutely horrific news. So I really wanted to take a look at it to find out what you guys thought of it. Let's look at it right now. Mesut Özil, as I've not been having the greatest of times so far this season, and hasn't been playing that well. And I don't know. I'm starting to think to myself that he's been carrying some sort of slight niggle from the World Cup, and he's brought that back. And it's just really, really depressing. And when I look at it, as I said, and I'm looking at the amount of injuries that Arsenal have sustained, you've got to look at a really, really, really incredible comparison that I was looking at today. And this has been compiled by the sports website, which is called physioroom.com. Now, they say that since 2002, Arsenal have had 889 separate injuries. 889. It's absolutely incredible. The next team that's had as many, and that 889, I see it's 888 on the graphic, but remember, we're counting Özil in that. Manchester United, the next most, with 791. I don't know if Van Persie joining them ramped that up for them. Spurs have had 785. Everton 663, Chelsea 620, Manchester City 595, and Liverpool only 551. That means that Arsenal have had nearly 300, yes, 300 more injuries than Liverpool since 2002. Now, how are you going to win anything when you've got so many injuries? There must be something going wrong at Arsenal. We can't put this all down to bad luck. And Arsene Wenger himself, he said last year that he was going to look at the training and look at the regime because he thought there must be something going wrong. And it's taken quite a long time to realise that. And, in fairness, they brought in a new fitness trainer in Shad Forsyth, who's with the German national squad. They've made changes, but yet again, we're still picking up a crazy amount of injuries at Arsenal Football Club. And let me just remind you of some of the injuries. This is just this season, just at this moment, the players that are injured. We've got Serge Gnabry. He's been out with a knee. We haven't even seen Serge Gnabry this season. A lot of people wondering if he still plays for Arsenal. Serge Gnabry, young player at Arsenal, has been out, hasn't even played a game this season, out with a knee injury. Theo Walcott, who we know he picked up the injury in January when he was playing against Tottenham, has not played since. Of course, we know it was a serious knee injury, but we've not seen Theo Walcott since. We were told a couple of weeks ago that Theo Walcott should be back in time for the Tottenham game. We were told last week that he's going to be starting training last week, and now we're being told he's still a couple of weeks away from training. What is going on? Mikel Arteta, our captain, has been injured since the start of this season, suffering from a calf injury, and he's out at the moment, missing in that major game against Chelsea at the weekend. Aaron Ramsey, one of our best players from last season, picked up a hamstring injury, out for 3 to 4 weeks. Nacho Monreal out at the moment with a back injury. They're not even sure when he's going to be back for, but that's Monreal out at the moment. Yaya Sanogo, again, this guy played, what, 1 game so far this season? Yeah, he's playing in pre-season. Seems to be a very injury-prone player. We had a lot of injuries, actually, before we'd even signed him. He'd suffered some serious injuries. It looks like he's coming back to roost because we can't get 2, 3, 4 games out of him in a row. Always injured. Yet another injury-prone player at Arsenal. Matthew Debuchy, we know, picked up that very serious ankle injury. It looked innocuous at the time. Looked like maybe it was just a little twist. Out for months again. I mean, just so frustrating. A guy that had come in at right back, was playing really well. We weren't missing Sanya. Out for months. And we saw on Sunday, poor Callum Chambers is having to play a centre-half. He's having to play at right back, and was targeted by Chelsea because of his inexperience, missing Matthew Debuchy in those big, important games. Olivier Giroud, our top goal scorer from last season, out, broken tibia, out now until the new year. Our main player, when you think about it, the top goal scorer for Arsenal last season, over 20 goals, out until the new year, half of the season. He's going to have to come back. And remember, when a player comes back, they then got to get themselves up to speed. So being out for, say, 6 months, you can really call it like 7 months, because by the time you get back up to speed, it's 7 months gone. And then, of course, the news today about Mesut Özil and him picking up a knee injury. He's going to be out for 3 months. And then if we even look at players like Abu Dhabi, he's, according to Arsenal's website at the moment, he's not currently injured, but we all know he is. He's not figured. He's only figured in the Carling Cup game. He's not figured in any other games. They're having to treat him with kid gloves. And unfortunately, Abu Dhabi sums up the injury problems that we have at Arsenal. Abu Dhabi has had 40 separate injuries since he's been at Arsenal. 40 separate injuries Abu Dhabi has had, which is absolutely incredible. And if you think that's bad, there's actually a player that's had more injuries than Abu Dhabi, and that is actually Theo Walcott. Theo Walcott has had 42 separate injuries since he's been playing for Arsenal, and that kind of shows you why he's never really hit the heights that he should have hit, because he's just always injured. And if you're just always injured, it's just a losing battle. You come back, you're injured again. You come back, you're injured again. It's really, really tough for a player. So, it is so frustrating. And the news that Mesut Özil was going to be out for 3 months has just hit. I know he wasn't playing well, but it's just hit hard today. It's hit hard today. It seems like every time an international break comes around, another Arsenal player returns with an injury. And it is so frustrating. I wanted to find out what you guys are thinking right now. Leave your comments below. Tell us what you're thinking about the whole situation. Who is to blame here? I mean, listen, there's certain injuries that players pick up that's just how it is. Hamstrings, every single club gets them. But we can't fail not to look at that statistic that says that we've had over 300 more injuries than Liverpool since 2002. Way more injuries than Chelsea. way more injuries than Manchester United, which is the nearest team to us, nearly 100 more than Manchester United. Something is wrong. It can't just be down to chance. And who is to blame? That is the question. Who is to blame? Is it our fitness regime? Do we not work the players hard enough in training so that when they go into a game, they're going into those games and putting in a hard shift and then coming out injured? Or are we working them too hard in training? I mean, nobody knows precisely. Maybe we're working them too hard in training, so, you know, when they go out to battle, they're not up to it. Or is it that we're not doing enough physical stuff in training, like, say, weights and things like that to strengthen players up? It does seem that Arsenal have a lot of lightweight players, but either way, there is a serious problem with injuries that needs to be addressed at Arsenal, because you are not going to win a title where you're going half of a season with all of your main players injured. Right now, if you said to somebody looking at Arsenal, who are the main players for Arsenal? Who are the big time players that will score you goals? People would say Giroud. Your main players are Mesut Özil. Your main players are Aaron Ramsey. Your main players are Theo Walcott. All of them are missing. All of them are injured. And then if we even look at our defensive right now, there are rumours that Laurent Koscielny is playing with a bit of a dodgy Achilles. So, you know, if there was backup, is what I've been hearing, he wouldn't even be playing at the moment. They would have taken him out of the firing line, but we didn't buy that defensive backup, so we're short in that area. We didn't buy the defensive midfielders, so we're short in that area. This is a serious problem. We've effectively, at the moment, got no defensive cover. Callum Chambers is having to play at right back. If something happens to Mertesacker or Koscielny, who's going to play in those positions? It is an absolutely unbelievable situation for a big club like Arsenal to be in. We're going to have to try and address it in January, but I ask myself, will we? I mean, to add insult to injury, remember that last January transfer window, we actually went out and bought Kim Kallstrom, who was an injured player with a bad back. In the January transfer window, we couldn't even play him for nearly 8 weeks. You couldn't make it up here at Arsenal. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about the injury crisis, I'm going to call it. Injury crisis at Arsenal. What can be done about it? Or as I said, is it just bad luck? Is it just coincidence? Is it just nobody's fault? That's just how it is. I really would like to hear from you guys. Leave your comments below. But sad news, as I said, Mesut Özil out for 3 months. The only positive I can say on that is that we've got players who can cover that position, like Santi Cazorla, Jack Wilshere. This is really going to be their time to really shine in those positions. Thanks for watching Arsenal Fan TV. Let's hope these injured players return soon.